Hello, welcome to the Sunday morning chat. I see a few people already popped up in the chat room. Hello, Scott and Azkaban. Azkaban. Um, for those that has followed my channel uh, long enough, I used to have a Sunday morning chat or Sunday afternoon. It was Sunday, long before my Wednesday uh, night chat. And then eventually I end up having a Sunday cooking show, which I still do. It's more Sunday afternoon cooking. The reason why I have not shot any Sunday cooking show because a lot of time it is more convenient for me to shoot to cook in the afternoon because it's for dinner. And Sunday afternoon, guess what? Football, right? So cooking, watching football at the same time, and have a live chat, that might not be a good idea. That's why I don't do it because I don't want the chat to go on for an hour or two because unlike the Sunday cooking show where I try to condense um, everything to make it quick, I don't. Uh, the Sunday afternoon, the Sunday afternoon cooking can go for a while because I am in no rush. And if I start cooking at 2 or 3 o'clock, dinner is not until 6. So it go on for a while. That's the reason why you don't see the Sunday cooking show in the morning. Usually I have it around 11 a.m. But that's the reason. It's just not a good time to do it as far as host a live cooking show at 11 a.m. on Sunday. I do have a little something, a little bit congested. Could be just allergy. Hello, the comic guy. I am also testing something. This Sunday show going forward will not be a weekly show. I'm not sure how often I will have it. At least once a month. At most, it will be every other week. And also, I am also testing something where I am recording this for a podcast. A few people, not a lot, a few people has asked and inquire if I can do podcasts because then it's easier to listen to in a car. You know, when you're driving um, or doing something, it's easier to listen to a podcast. It uses less bandwidth than watching a YouTube video. I understand that. It's more convenient for some people. I do not get a lot of requests of podcasts. Let's be honest, I'm not going to blow up with thousands of listeners on the airwave. uh, I don't have a voice for radio or a face for TV. Okay, so the combination of that make it so that if some people can enjoy my content in a certain methods, that's fine. I don't mind doing it. It's not a lot of hard work. I don't know. I'm just recording this and then I need to find a place to load the podcast. So feel free to leave comments on where I can load the podcast to make it easy for people to digest. Okay. Um, yes, the comic book guy. I will going forward, starting this Wednesday, I will record the Wednesday night chat as well to see so that's where it came from. Some of the people that watched the Wednesday night chat later on Rewind ask if I can do the podcast because, like I said, it's easier to consume, listen it on the podcast radio wave instead of using bandwidth watching YouTube video. There's no need to use that bandwidth if you don't want to pay for the extra bandwidth, right? The comic book guy recommend iTunes. I do have iTunes accounts that will work. So yes, I am recording this right now, and I will listen to it after to see how I sound. Hello Reaper, hello. Um, for this podcast, for this Sunday chat, the Sunday chat morning video, I will try to run for an hour, just like the Wednesday night chat, and it's gonna be open for all topic. Okay, one of the things that um, I can, not that I will, I can do is talk more about comic book investment in this segment of my channel. I try to segregate topics. That's just the way my brain works. That's why I title um, all of my videos in certain categories. Um, but that's how my brain works. It need to compartment. There's a word for it. Compartment. I don't know. You guys know. I don't have the full command of the English language after living here for so many decades. I have my morning coffee. I have not eaten breakfast yet. That's why I want to run this chat between 9 and 10 a.m. Eastern time and then have brunch. Okay. Hello, John and Anthony. Welcome. So yes, for the future podcast, feel free to for those that listen and watch this video after, feel free to leave investment questions as far as comic books. I will be happy to do research, look on GPA if needed, or answer investment question in general as far as comic books. Okay, um, but I want to focus one of the potential focus of the Sunday morning chat is investment instead of having to answer the same question every week on the Wednesday night chat. Okay, because that's one of the things that which we, as far as I'm speaking for Anthony, John, and Patrick, we try to not bring up the same questions and have the same answer every week. So if I can condense all the questions into some kind of show like this once a month or every other week, that works just fine. Um, Anthony's joking in the chat room because he has GPA as well. He does not need me to give him GPA number for X-Men for Fantastic Four 1 to 400. Scott Farr asks, if you can't afford Golden Age books, do you feel first Silver Age appearance like Batman issues are great investment books? The answer is yes. Um, when it comes down to DC keys, in general, they are far fewer keys, especially Silver Age compared to Marvel. That's why we have the Marvel Age. That being said, they are very affordable. The Marvel zombie or whatever we want to call ourselves uh, pay a lot less attention to DC keys, with the exception of say showcase books, right? Some of the showcase book definitely got and have been getting a lot of attentions. But in general, even Poison Ivy first appearance is not all that crazy expensive. Good morning, Blade Runner 404. So yes, I don't think I don't know how great of an investment as far as Silver Edge DC keys or semi keys can be. Certainly, they're not bad investment because they have not blown up. Okay, so when I said that they're not bad investment, I'm talking about, you're buying into a bubble that can crash. Okay, that's not happening. I don't see it as far as, for example, Batman 181. Um, you know, that book is a good example. It's a really good book because it's not a reintroduction of a character. It's a new character. It's not like the other Batman books where you have the reintroduction of Penguin, um, or Joker, or Two Face. It's a new character, just like Batman 121 is as far as Mr. Freeze. To me, Batman 181 is just as important as 121. Okay, that's my opinion. Okay, I'm sure some people will disagree, and that's just fine. That's one of the things that annoys me the most with the internet and social media is that when somebody disagree with somebody else, it's a big deal. It's not a big deal. You can disagree. It's okay. We all can't think the same way. None of us can. So if you disagree, no big deal. If you like Batman 121 more and think Mr. Freeze is like somehow more important than Poison Ivy, that's fine. I'm okay that you think that way, and you should be okay too that I don't think that way, right? Let's see what else. Lord Tedman, hello. Um, we have somebody in the chat room say SMC short movie creator. I will check your stuff out. Okay, I have never seen your content, so but I will surely check it out after the chat. Um, Blade Runner 404 asks, do I think Hope 181 price for grade below 9.0 will come back down? Price are crazy right now. Yes, price are crazy right now for Hope 181, even 7.0. Okay, even lower grade, not just high grade. Trust me, that book has been going crazy for quite some time now. Even 9.8, for those that paid attention to 9.6 and 9.8 price of Hope 181, they were left, they were flatline or doing not much for a long time, for a long time. But even in the past 6 months, they have participated in the rise. Okay, so when will the rise end? I do not know. Okay, a lot of people has predicted crash, doom, and gloom. I can't. I slap a copy of mine, as you, for those that watch my channel, you've seen it. I had slapped a 7.5. It will be up for sales eventually. Not right now. Not right now. I don't plan to sell anything right now, but in 2 or 3 months, in 4 months, in 6 months, yes, when the price is right, if I feel that it's time to let go, I am ready. If I feel that the price has topped out right now and there's nothing but downward movement for that book, why would I hold on to a book that I slab and plan to sell, right? So there's go my answer. Do I think it's gonna crash anytime soon? The answer is, if anytime is in the next 2 to 3 months, no. No is the answer. Little Reaper is saying hello. Hello, James. I cannot see you, but I feel you, my little friend. I feel you. uh, um, let's see what else. Oh, before I go on with other questions, um, I did use my 16 eBay bucks last week to buy something. I did not bother to make an unboxing video. There is there is more than enough content on my channel. As if I need another live chat like this, right? uh, I can't help it. The man has too much free time. But I bought something and it came in. I unpack it. It's a low grade book. 2.5. Can it be higher? Yeah. But it's a book that I never owned before. Okay, never owned before. It's a Fantastic Four book. It's a low grade book. I have never owned before, but now that the Fantastic Four is so hot, I'm not gonna chase a high grade copy or a mid grade copy. I am okay with a low grade book. You know me, I have gotten over my desire and need for high grade books. It's over. I appreciate, okay, I appreciate high grade books. Who doesn't? You know, even the people that champion better to have low grade than no grade, yeah, they said that. They believe in that, but they still appreciate high grade. They are not gonna look at a high grade book and say, ew, I'd rather have low grade. No. Even the people that have been saying better to have low grade than no grade still appreciate high grade. That's where I am, okay? Would I prefer high grade? Yeah, who doesn't? But low grade it is. As long as it's presentable low grade, heck yeah. And this book fall right into that category. Okay, it's very presentable. There's a major flaw. It's a, I would say, 2.5 inch tear on the cover. For those that listen to the podcast later and cannot see the visual, it is the first Super Scroll, FF18. Very nice looking book. You notice what I call about presentable low grade? You see any major 5 inch corner crease? There are plenty of 5.0, 6.0, 4.0 higher that has big 3, 4, 6 inch corner crease. Okay, why is this book only a 2.5? Why? There's a tear right here. You see it? There's an 1.5 inch tears right here that also tear into the spine. Can't really see it. There you go. You can see it right there. So there, you can see it better here. Okay, right there. Does this bother me? Not at all. Look at the clean back cover. Okay, clean, clean, clean. Look at that. Yes, this would make of this book will make another appearance in my presentable low to mid grade books. And look at how white the I'm telling you, not well, I would say that plenty of attention have been paid to the page quality of book. Okay. And this book is beautiful. I mean, it's off white to white. Look at that. Look at the page quality. Okay. There you go. I can't um I can't show enough presentable low grade books on my channel because I think too often, you know, for whatever reason, people assume that I am a high grade collector and I hate on all low grade. I trash on all low grade books. I insult low grade collectors. Where did that come from? I don't know. You tell me. Okay, so for those that want to see a closer look at that book, you will get a chance someday. You know, I'm sure I will put this book in at least one, if not two more videos. Oh, uh, there's something cooler. There's something cool about this book as well. Okay, I can talk about that, but after I answer this question. Hello, Silver Age guy. Would you sell Spider-Man 300? Ooh. Okay. Spider-Man 300, first Venom, CGC 9.8 have exploded from about 1800 to roughly 2500-ish now that the movie is out. I can only talk about this based on my observation of other books. Okay, we have seen this before. This has played out before. Can the story change? Absolutely. So, as with anything, we can only look back at history and try to predict what can happen in the future. And then there might be an exception to the rule, right? Um, New Mutant 98 had a sharp rise and then it topped out after the release of Deadpool 1. Okay, the first Deadpool movie was a huge success. If you follow the price of New Mutant 98, after the movie, 6 months after the movie, that book dropped roughly 15%, give or take. Okay, it did drop more than 10%. In some case, even 20%, but give or take, you can take an average of like a 15% drop in that book 6 months after the first Deadpool movie. And and then it kind of bounced around that level for a long time until the second movie. And then even with the second movie, it has not completely break out to new high. It basically flatline. Okay. Um, Now apply that same scenario with Spider-Man 300. Let's see 6 months from now. Let's see if that book dipped 5 or 10%, and we will find out. I think the pattern will repeat. That's just one man opinion. I could be completely wrong. And if that's the case, so be it. There's nothing wrong with being wrong. That's the internet, okay? There's a freedom to be wrong, and it's okay to be wrong, and it's okay to admit that I am wrong. Nothing like black coffee in the morning. Um, so my prediction is that book has topped out for now, and it probably will drift downward for the next 6 months. Flatline, slowly drift. Instead of like 2,500 ish, you might see the book closer to 2,000 range. That's my take. My take is you might see that book drop closer to the 2,000 range. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Let's not repeat myself again. And then maybe if news come out with Venom, the sequel movie, then you might see the book slowly drift back again until the next release, just like New Mutant 98 did. So, no, I don't own a copy. I do not own a copy of New Mutant 98 CGC 9.8 right now. Um, so if I own a copy, I would have put it up for sale 2 weeks ago. Yes. If I own a copy, I would have put it up for sale 2 weeks ago. And if I really want a 9.8 copy for my collection, which I do not, I have a raw 8.5-ish copy for my collection to keep and enjoy. It is fine. But if I was to sell my copy 2 weeks ago, I would be patiently waiting for the price to drift. If I get out at 2,500, I would like to see it drift down to the 2,100 level or even lower, and then I buy it back. Hey, it's not a bad thing to pocket $400 into my pocket and then still have a copy, right? That's the way I would approach the hobby. I have learned to let go of something and then buy it back later. It's not for everybody. Not everybody is into this buy and sell things. Some people just buy. Some people, for a lot of people, not some, for a lot of people, this hobby is about buy, buy, and buy. Selling is not in the equation for a lot of people. Um, oh, before I go on to a different topic, what is cool about this book for those that have never owned it? I just owned it for the first time a few days ago. If you watch my underrated Silver Age book video on Amazing Spider-Man 4 on how cool that book is because it showed ads for X-Men 1 as well as Avenger 1 a few a month before those books came out. That was cool for Spider-Man 4. Well, guess what? This book came out the same time as Spider-Man 4. Okay, so it's even cooler. It, it is even cooler than Spider-Man 4. And let me show you why. And I might make a video to show this book in that series because, as always, not everybody watch every video. So for those that don't care to watch my live chat, they may miss this completely. So I might do a separate video later just to bring this to focus. But for those that are watching, you get to see it first. This is even better than Spider-Man 4. Okay, even better. Why is it better? Okay, it came out the same time as Spider-Man 4. But in Spider-Man 4, all you see is an ad for the text, let's say Avenger 1, X-Men 1. All you see is the text. Hello, JLS. For this book, are you ready? There you go. For those that are listening to the podcast later and cannot see the visual, there is a full cover of Avenger 1 in this book. A whole month before the book came out. Is that awesome? Is that awesome? Yes, it is. So cool. And of course, there is an ad, a banner for X-Men 1 right here, right? So yes, this book is awesome as far as first Super Scroll, but the cool factor go beyond just the first appearance of the Super Scroll. Love it. Absolutely. I am super excited to have this book. Super excited. I mean, I waited for a long time, and then now that the price is crazy, I am happy to settle for a low grade copy and finally had a chance to look at the book. And yes, it is so cool. Yes, Anthony, in the chat room, it is uber cool to see the full ad. Yes, it is even cooler than Spider-Man 4. Hands down, even cooler. So yes, I might do a separate video just to talk about how underrated this book is because it is so cool. Ah, it's already 9:31. Listen to that. I already yip for 31 minutes. So we are halfway through the live chat slash podcast. For those that just joined the show, I will, this is my first test at podcasting. I will load the podcast later. I will let people know where to listen to the podcast maybe next Wednesday. Oh, yeah, this Wednesday. It's already start the new week. Doing the live chat with Anthony and Patrick and John. I will tell people where they can find the podcast so that in the future, both the Wednesday night chat and the Sunday morning chat will be available on podcast as well. Yes, Anthony, if you do not have the book, put it in your wish list for 2019. Yes. Scott Farr have a question. Let's go on to another question. Ooh, here's a couple. I'm trying to. With the rise of value and popularity of New Adam issues, Green Lantern, Batman, do you feel his stock will keep rising over the years or level off like or decline? Um, that's a tough question to answer. It's a tough question because we're talking future generations. Just as I talked about how the current modern market, the current variant market, there is no way for me to comment on their collectability or investability of those books. Why? It is the future generation of collectors, those that have not even be in the market right now, that will determine the value of those books, right? Um, you know, every new generation have a different take on certain books. Some books translate from generation to generation. like Amazing Fantasy 15. It was a desirable book in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s. When I entered the hobby, it was a prize book. It was always a prize book, even for those that are new to the hobby. Okay. Now, how will fan 10 years from now, 20 years from now, how will those new collectors that are not in the hobby yet, some of them might not even born yet, how would they view Neil Adams? The likelihood that people look at Neil Adams' art and say that's not good, I don't think that's going to happen. Okay, Neil Adams' style has stood the test of time from the 60s to now. So if he's going to fade, no, I don't think he's going to fade 30 years from now. I don't think he's going to go away 30 years from now. He's going to be, Neil Adams will always be in the conscious of collectors in this hobby. Uh, whether some books will not benefit, if you follow Neil Adams books, not everything is expensive. Not everything is hardly chased after. Not everything appreciate a great value. Not everything. Okay. There's a lot of Neil Adams cover, great Neil Adams cover that nobody cares. Okay. Not enough people care. I would say nobody cares. I say not enough people care about. There's no fighting over them. There's no huge jump in prices. For example, everybody know about his Batman covers. Batman 227, Batman 232, Detective 400. There are dozens of Batman and detective books that appreciate in value that are hotly contest for. People fight over them, people hoard them. I'm guilty of that. Um, but there are a ton of New Adams DC covers that a lot of people don't care. The price on many of them are affordable. Um, Brave and the Bold. Okay, there are a lot of Brave and the Bold New Adams covers with Batman that are cheap, affordable, even 8.0 or higher. They are not in the hundreds of thousands, and they're not highly sought after. Even he, surprisingly, if there is any title that surprised me the most, as far as not highly prized, not highly sought after for Neil Adams, is his work with Spectre. That his earliest work at DC. The arts in those issues are beautiful, the covers are beautiful, and yet, for the most part, they are ignored. Um, it's not highly valued, it's not highly sought after. So, as far as Neil Adams, I think the hot books, the love book, like Batman 227, 251, 232, you name it, all of those popular ones, I think the future is always going to be bright for those books. Classic covers rarely became unclassic, if that makes any sense. Yeah, to me. Hello, Brian Spaceboy. Good morning. I'm winding down to the last 20 minutes of the Sunday chat before I sit down and have brunch. I am getting hungry. The stomach is growling. You might even heard it on the audio. um, the same thing with variant covers. Okay, do Scott Farr has another question on variant covers and the price spike. The way the cover variants and the spike, we have seen that for the past few years, right? Because the people that got to have, once they are satisfied, the demand, poof, right? That's why you don't see I'm sure there are exceptions to the rule. I'm sure there are rare variants out there that rise in price and stay high and might even go higher. I'm sure there are examples of those. I don't follow that market at all. Forget about, follow that market. There is only so much time to devote to this hobby. So I don't follow that market, but I have seen enough books doing my weekly got to have videos that there are variants out there that stay high and even go higher from time to time. But in general, for many of them, there are a spike and then there is a drift down, and then who knows what will happen to those books, right? Because like I said, there are variant collectors that got to have that will fight over those books at first, but once they are satisfied, it is gone. Now it is more dependent on the future generations. Like I said before in the chat, down the road, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, it is more dependent on the new collectors, the one that are not in the market yet. Some of them are not even born yet. How those new collectors view the books is what's going to determine the value of them 20 years from now. It is not, you know, it is not something that any of us can predict with any kind of certainty. But that's just my 2 cents for what it's worth. Yes, George. George mentioned that the Spectre has never been a real popular character, which might explain why prices of the new Adam issue aren't insane. Yes, that's true, but that does not explain why most Brave and the Bold book are also ignored. Um, like I said, the market on new Adams are more bad focus as far as Batman title, specifically Batman and Detective, because Batman is in Brave and the Bold. And for the most part, those books are ignored as well. So it's not just because the Spectre is not a main character, it's more than that. The market is really narrow when it comes down to Neil Adams, Batman, and detective titles. Very narrow. Um, so yes, as far as purchase for the week, that's it. That's my lowly $16 eBay bucks that I was able to spend on this book. Hello, Jack. What's going on? I just found your channel. Well, welcome to the channel. Hopefully, you will stick around. Um, Unfortunately, the people that will listen to the podcast later cannot see this beautiful FF18 that I'm holding up right now. It is my favorite buy for the past few months. Yes, I didn't buy a heck of a lot, but this rank on top of that. Uh, are there any pulp comics? I mean, like Golden Age, Atomic Age, you're talking about? If you're specific about pulp comics, I do not own any pulp comics. Oh, Sin City. Oh, big fan of Sin City. In fact, I just reread the first story of Sin City or Love Hard Boil. Okay. In fact, I made a video on underrated modern age book with Frank Miller. So I will load that maybe this week, sometime when I find the right slot for it. But there is a Frank Miller modern age. It's not hard boiled, but for those that know Frank Miller, you will appreciate the video, hopefully, because it brings to attention something that I think the hobby has forgotten of the significance of this series that he did. I love Sin City, the first movie, is one of the best comic adaptation into a movie that I have ever seen. It's one of the best that I have ever seen. I absolutely love it. It's a masterpiece. When I saw Sin City on the big screen, that was um, a mind blowing experience because it is so beautiful. I could not believe that they were able to bring the page that I love to life in every way. It is just so well done. It is lightning in a bottle for that director. I mean, he tried to replicate it again with Frank Miller. I think Frank Miller was more involved with the second movie, and that didn't work as well. Um, it's been a while since saw Dick Tracy the movie. I just remember it was very colorful. The makeup, Al Pacino makeup, all that stuff, that was pretty crazy, pretty lifelike. Well, pretty, how should I say, not lifelike. It resemble the comic as far as the costume, the color, the makeup. But it's been so long. I only seen that movie once, so I can't say much for sure. If I only see a movie once, that means I didn't love it. So if my memory is right, I didn't love it. Uh, Maybe because I was not a big fan of Madonna. I'm guessing it's been decades since I saw that movie. Yes, insanely colorful. You are correct. The color palette of that movie is insane. The opposite spectrum of Sin City, the film noir classic. It is so beautiful. It is, like I said, it gives me chill and goosebump when I think about Sin City, the movie, because it is so beautifully made and drawn. Okay, it's a classic in every way. A movie that I believe did not get enough attention. Absolutely not enough. John in the chat room like the Dick Tracy movie. He actually seen it several times in a theater. So yes, I cannot. Um, I can't say that I love it because the way my brain works. If I see something only once, that means that I didn't really like it. But let me see if I can pull that book that I was talking about as far as Sin City. Took a little while to dig through the boxes. This was it. Great, great book. I bought this when I was living in Boston at the time. And I remember I was bummed out because my store, I had a pull list at the time. And the store put in a copy that was pretty dinged up. So I was, being back then I was still a high grade snob. So I was pretty bummed out that my copy was not in good condition. And I remember taking the book out, this book, and go over to the rack to see if I can find a better copy to replace. There was none. This was it. Um, there was a couple corner. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you can see it. Can you see it right there? Corner crease right there. Okay, and this book, have a cardboard cover, real thick. So once that is damaged, nothing you can do there. And then the corner, like I said, it's a great book. But for those that do not own this book, I was a big fan of Dark Horse back in those days. Big fan. Um, wow. But yeah, I pulled this out to read. It is great. I mean, even in black and white, I'm telling you, black and white doesn't get enough credit. Okay, not enough at all. Simon Beasley was in here. And of course, what is special is the last story of this book. There you go. Sin City, the first Sin City. Okay, so I remember seeing this for the first time, and I'm just like, I can't wait for the series. Look at that. Look at that. Oh yeah. Lovely, lovely. It's just, to me, I would say that this is my height of my love for Frank Miller, because at this point I really like his evolution with Ronan, or Ronan. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Ronan, but Ronan. His changes, his evolution in Ronan was awesome. Okay, and by the time this series came out, Sin City, it's my favorite. Okay, I like Frank Miller in Daredevil, but I prefer his evolution through Ronin, Dark Knight, and then this. This is the peak for me. Okay, even more than Dark Knight, even though I love Dark Knight too. I like them all. It's hard for me to rank his art style, but for me, this noir style is just it was it for me. I'm sure some people would disagree, and that's okay too. So yes, if you never owned this big, this is like a thick, it's like a it's like a trade paperback. Okay, it's long before there was trade paperback. There was books like this. Fifth anniversary special. Yes, beautiful, just beautiful. I love it. I love this book. I should. It's one of those books that's hard to make a video with because it's bound like this, so the page doesn't really open. Okay, you gotta read like this. You gotta read like this because you don't want to like spread the book wide open and then it would crack the spine and everything. So it's a book where you have to hold it in your palm like this and then flip through it that way. That's why it's hard to. I want to make a video with this. That's why I pull it out uh, a couple of days ago. But as I was rereading it, I'm just like, it's just too hard to make a video and try to show all the panels. So it cannot be done with the camera. And especially when you have to use both hands to flip through the books. Well, we are winding down to the final 3 minutes of the show. I made it through the hour. Woo! I never know. Okay, I never know whenever I hold a live chat if I can talk for an hour. But usually I can. It's easy. I talk too much, yes. um, hello, Charlton66. Indeed, George. Collector just doesn't care much for the black and white. Um, outside of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle #1. Oh, but in general, well, Walking Dead #1. Yeah, there are black and white, but in general, um, there's a lot of great black and white works in many magazines. For those that know me well, I love my black and white magazines, especially the horror one like Eerie, Creepy, Vampirella, uh, Tomb of Dracula. I have many black and white magazines. They are fantastic, great read, beautiful arts. In fact, I think the arts for black and white magazine are superior to color because it it showcase the artist and the inker much more. Just one man opinion. Um, but other than that, I hope everybody enjoyed the Sunday chat. We will have another one, not next week. Okay, I don't plan to do this on a weekly basis. Just as a reminder, most likely it's going to be bi-weekly, potentially monthly, but I do not plan to do this on a weekly basis. My allergy is killing me, so I'm gonna end this podcast because I feel like I'm gonna need to blow my nose and sneeze and clear out the gunk in there. Anyhow, have a good Sunday. I'm gonna go make myself some big brunch because I am starving and I can hear Anthony is up. He usually sleep to like 9:30 ish on Sunday. That's why I figure I can do the chat at 9 o'clock. And if I wake him up with my voice at 9, it's not a big deal. Anyhow, thank you for listening and watching. And until the next Sunday chat, bye bye.